Good afternoon, everybody. I am back again. I've been playing around with these so much. Do you know what? I absolutely love this set. I would say this is one of my, apart from the first memory book set, which is by far, it is really my favourite. This is definitely coming very close to it. So I've been playing about every which way, and I thought what I would do is actually just show you, because I know a lot of you are getting a little bit, you know, not sure how to put the, here we go, fold over book together. Now I did go through it in the first one I did, but I think maybe you need to see it a bit more close up. Now I will say, just before I do this one, that, and this is the important thing, is when you're doing a fold over book, I'll put it up there, I don't know if you can see, I'm trying to do it so you can see this. Can you see you get your gaps? So you've got your 1.5 centimetre gaps here. So that's fine. You can fill up as much as you want. But where the pages fold over onto each other, you haven't got that gap. So, and I'm just, as I'm doing this book, I'm just aware. I'm literally just doing this book as I'm getting it. So I'm sort of giving you these little bits of tips and advice so you don't go wrong. But you're not going to be able to fit big things inside the bits where the flaps, where are we? That's better. Can you see where the flaps, where they meet, where each flap over the side? So you've only got room for 3 big pockets. And that's with the fold over book, the book that folds over onto itself, one onto the other and one onto the other, which is beautiful. It is absolutely, it's a beautiful book, it's lovely. But just bearing in mind that some of you might be beginners, this could be your first memory book. So I'm just going to show you a quick way to put a plain book together. So you're just getting the flat book, so not a fold over book, completely flat with your 1.5 centimetre gap in between. So what I've done, and this is the same pretty much principle actually for doing the you know, the flip flap book, the one that I've just showed you. So what I've done is I've cut down, this is the larger, you get the 2 in the pack, so you've got the larger spine die, and you've got the smaller one. There is one in the middle which came in your first memory book, but for this we're going to use the one with the bigger gap, and that is 1.5 centimetre gap. So all we've done is just literally run that through our machine and die cut it. Now what you're going to do, let me stand up for this. This really is just sort of for complete beginners. You've got these little ridges. Now these little tiny ridges are actually your measurers. You get them on both sides. Let me come down a bit. Let me come down, there you go. You see you get them on both sides. They're your measurers. So they're basically where you can cut down. When you've got different size spines in different books, you can cut them down to size. So I'll show you how we're going to do this in a minute in this book, which I think might be a lot easier for beginners rather than the flip flap one. So what you're going to do is you're going to do a mountain fold between the line with the lines on it. So that is a mountain fold, right? Then we've got another mountain fold. So let me make sure I'm doing this on camera. We've got another, there we go. We've got another mountain fold. So that's up, right? Up, mountain, okay? Then all the others are valley. So they go down. So we're going to fold this down, okay? You'll see in a minute how it works. They're all going to go the opposite way. So down. Trying to do this so that you can see it on camera. There we go. And down again. You see, I'll fold it all again properly, and then down again. So I'll show you. Like I said, this is just really for beginners. because I'm aware some are beginners, okay? Where are we? I've folded that one way around. Right, there we go. So this is what you get. So can you see we've folded the ones with the ridges on a mountain up the top, okay, up the top. And then you've got your valleys, which give you in between a 1.5 centimetre gap in between each. So that's how much room you have to put all your information in, all your, you know, your flips, your flaps, your pockets. You know, it's a good fair size. That a 1.5 centimetre gap's a nice size. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it over, and we obviously want to stick down the side that has the ridges on it. So let's go ahead and put some tape in between our, let's just move that out the way for the second, in between our valley folds. So on the line, you just, one side, you pick one side of the line with all the ridges on it, and you're just going to run some tape along the inside, because that's where we want it stuck. You could use wet glue for this. It's entirely up to you. You could use your red liner tape. Again, I'm using this. This is just literally to show you how to put this skeleton of this book together. So, you know, if you're doing it, you're going to use a nice 300 GSM. Oh, well, actually, you're not for the spine. You're not for the spine. That's another thing. You will use a 300 GSM for your pages and this part of the spine, but you're going to need a smaller weight card to manipulate this, because if you do this on a 300 GSM, it's definitely, you're going to have issues. You're not going to be able to fold it. It's going to be really difficult. So you need a lighter weight card. Anything sort of, I would say around 200, a little bit less. Now, before I do this, I'm not rushing ahead yet again, Nikki. Slow down. Slow down. Right, so we've got it all set up. Now, to make our flat book, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to take an A4 piece of card. This is the easiest way I can explain it. This is your A4 piece of card, and you're going to cut a piece which is 9 centimetres across. Can you see we've just cut one long piece 9.5 centimetres across? That is going to form the spine of your book. This is where you're using your 300 GSM. That's important. That's where you want the weight, because your book's going to be folded, opened. You need the weight. So this one is a 300 GSM. Okay? So for our spine, we're going to cut down, and this is what we're going to do. This is the easiest way I can think to show you this. And I'll do it so that you can see this. Now, I edge it. You don't want, because your pages are going to go in like this, you don't want the spine so that it's meeting the edge. This will all become apparent in a minute. So you don't want your spine right up to the edge. You need to move your spine in a bit, because you want that hidden. You don't want people to see your spine. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring that in, and let's just, so that you will know what you're doing, we'll bring this in. Let's bring it in half a centimetre. Okay, so we'll bring it in 0.5 centimetre on this side and 0.5 centimetre on that side. So we want 8.5 centimetres. So let's do this as we would do it and measure it properly. You don't need to do this, you can rough it out, but like I say, I'm just aware that there are beginners, you know, they might never have done a memory book before, and sometimes it can be that little bit, you know, oh, I don't know if I'm doing this right. Have I done the spine? Is it correct? Okay, so we've gone in at 8.5 centimetres, which has given us a 5mm on each side, which will hide our spine. So now let's go ahead and glue our tabs together. Okay, so we've just taken our thing, we are folding them over onto each other. Okay, so to get our tab, first tab, see, like so. And then the second one, we're going to come in and do exactly the same. Fold that over and they'll meet perfectly. That's the beauty of these spines. They are fantastic. Easy, no measuring, nothing. Now, let's show you what Jodie does. I'm going to show you because you don't have to do it, but I do agree. It is actually quite important because it's going to make your spine really, really strong. And this is the part that you're obviously turning your pages over on. So you want that really, really secure. So I'm going to do what Jodie does. And Jodie always recommends, and I know she does because I've watched her quite a lot of times now. I'm a Tonic fan, you see. So I always, probably like yourselves, sit there and wait for the shows on Create and Craft. And I will say it is literally to watch Jodie and all her lovely tutorials, because I do like watching her. She's absolutely fantastic, Jodie is. She's an amazing crafter. She comes up with, I mean, some of her YouTube, some of the makes she's got on her, not on her YouTube, on her Facebook, really they're brilliant. So all we're going to do is we're going to cut round it. It's not an essential thing, like I say, but Jodie does recommend it. And like I say, I would do it because it's reinforcing your spine. It's giving it weight. And if you are using, well, for our spine here, we're going to be using, let's just say we're using a 200 GSM. That's going to make it a 400 underneath here. See, this part where we've backed, it's going to give that 400. You just don't want anything more than 200 on this. That's the bit. So that's where she's reinforced it. Now we're going to bring our piece that we've cut in at 9.5 centimetres. Turn it that way, right? Now we know we've got 5mm on each side. We've given ourselves that because we've cut this down to 8.5 centimetres. So what we're going to do now, and I will use glue for this because it will probably dry quite quickly. You can use tape. Use your tape. Definitely use your tape. Use your tape and your glue together. Now we are sticking that, and I'm going to bring it up and show you. So I'm roughing it out. You really don't have to worry too much as long as you've not got it to either end. So here we go. That's how you want it stuck. Can you see that? Yes. So that's how you want it stuck. Now, the professional way to do it is this way. If you haven't got a scoreboard, you could use a ruler and a pencil or something that looks a little bit like this. But this is how you would do it. So what you would do is you're going to take a line down the edge, okay? I'm going to line that up there. Yeah, that works. Right, so you're going to take a line down the edge and you're going to take it right up to here. Now the reason I'm saying take it right up to there is because you have a 1.5 centimetre gap with this particular spine. So you've got plenty of room for the inside of your covers. Whereas before, where we had the smaller ones, we had to sort of give it a little bit more of an edge. We had to give it just that little bit more. On this one, just from doing it myself and doing the first pages, with this gap, it's fine. So you're going to score a line down the side, right? Then turn over, and then you're going to score another line down the opposite side. And like I say, you can take that right up to the edge. I'm pretty confident about that because we have this 1.5 centimetre gap on this side. So now all you're going to do is fold those up, and that is, where are we? That's going to be, I'll get used to using this one day. That is going to be your spine, and this is your flat book, okay? So let's take that. So that's your spine, and remember this is for a flat book, not the flip flat book. This is for a flat book. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your, let's show you, so that you know exactly what you're doing. You're going to take your outer, you're going to take your outer, it's the biggest one of the base. You're going to take this and you're going to cut it 8 times. This is how it cuts out. It's like Hunt the Die Cut. It's like Hunt the Die Cut. Right, so that's how it cuts out. Now this is your biggest page. That's why I'm saying you want to use this. You want to use the biggest one because you want to be able to use all the other dies that come with it. So it cuts like that. And you're going to need to do 8 of those. Now all we're doing is we are cutting, and I'm going to cut half so you can see exactly where you're cutting, is you're cutting, can you see? That's where you want your cut. We're there. Can you see? We're cutting it right on the edge. So you can see where it's cut prior to that. You can see where the cut is. That is where we're cutting, because we want a nice straight flat edge, because these are going to become our pages and our front cover. Okay, so I might have to chop these down a bit. Are we going to have to chop them down? I don't think so, actually. No, we're not going to have to chop them down. So this is going to form, can you see? This is going to form, this is your outer edge of your book. Okay, that's how it's going to form. So I've just put sellotape on those ones and haven't put sellotape on those. So do you know what? We'll use these ones. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go on the back, because this is our spine, and we're going to take our first cover, right? And we're going to, here we go. We're going to line that up with this edge, okay? You probably could cut these down, but we'll leave it as it is for now. Okay, so you're going to come up to this edge and you're going to line it up perfectly, making sure you're not going over. You just want it right on that edge where you've done your little score line. Don't go over the score line, right up to the edge. I'll show you in a minute, and get it nice and lined up. And she says, because she's used white paper. Where are we? We really need to get this. We need to concentrate, because we want to get this neat and straight. That's important. Neat and straight and flat. Okay. Can we see that? Can we see that? Nice and neat and straight. One edge. Okay. And we're going to do exactly the same as what we did the first time. And we're going to run this. Remember, these are going to be your front and your back covers, your book covers. So you want these nice and, excuse me, you want these nice and straight. Now remember, we're going, where's our tape? We are going up, and we're making sure that this is really straight first before we're sticking it down at the bottom. Really making sure that's straight, and then we're going in at the bottom. So there you've got your cover, your first front page. Okay, that's your first front page. We're now going to do exactly the same on the opposite side. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to place it as our back spine. Our spine pages are inside. Again, lining it up, it will match perfectly. These dies have done all the work for you. They have done every bit of work for you. Okay, could have done a little bit better there, maybe by a couple of millimeters, but we'll do. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I think that's sometimes my issues. I'm such a perfectionist. I like things to be so neat and tidy. I don't know about any of you crafters, but sometimes if I've done something and there's something a millimetre out, an inch out, oh my gosh, it will drive me mad. It's funny how we all could be. Now, you could rub out your, you know, you're not going to have a line that says 9.5 centimetres there, but I will cover over that anyway. Sorry, so now we're going to the top. Concentrate, Nikki. We're going to the top and we're going in again, not sticking it down to the bottom. Jodie's way is at the top, match it up, level it up, and then bring your taped part to it, you know, bring it up to it. And there we go. So now you can see this is going to be our plain book. Let's call it our plain flat book. This is not the same as the other one. This is our plain flat book, okay? So we've got our front and our back cover. How easy was that? That's really easy. So now you're going to take your other 4 pages, which I didn't put any tape on, but we'll do it now. Let's Speedy Gonzales, let's do it now. And then you're going to do exactly the same as what you did with the layer book, the one that goes into itself. So it's exactly the same process. It's just that this one is going to be a flat book. And if you are a total beginner to memory book making, and the idea of the flip flat book, which is beautiful, it is, I love it. It really is a pretty book. If the idea of that is a bit daunting, you know, you've got your dies, you're new to die cutting, and you're thinking, oh, it looks really easy, because I've done that before. And we've all done it. We've all done it because we've all been there. We've all been at different levels of crafting. You know, like I say, I'm no professional, but, you know, the longer you do it, the more you kind of get used to it. But I think it's just nice. This is a nice, easy book. This is an easy book. So, remember, we're going to line this up with the spine. So, can you see this? We're lining exactly the same way we did with the front cover. We are lining this up so it meets this edge and this edge of your spine, okay? And we're going to pop that down there, okay? Just like so. And then we're going to do exactly the same as what we've just done previously with the front covers, okay? And like I say, nice easy book this, quick again, and I would stick to, personally, I would stick to just using one of your spine. Don't start putting in 4 pages, 8 pages. Just, if you're new, just stick to doing the 2 pages, because that will give you the 2 spines here. That will actually give you 8 pages to decorate. And if you are then using, let's pop that down. I am doing it as if you are using, sorry, you know, you're going to put openings on here and on here. Remember, we've got, well, 5 sides, because, well, 6 really, because you can still put flaps on this side, you see. So even with 4, just 2 pages, which is 4 sides, you can actually end up having potentially, well, you've got 6, you can have 12 extra pages on one, 12 if you're going to start putting flaps in here. So I would recommend, just if you are beginning, you're just first starting out, just use the one, just use one, don't put 2 in, because like I say, you're going to be forever there, you know, doing more and thinking, oh my gosh, this book might be taking long. You know, if you're, you know, really, you know, good crafter, you know these dies, you've been with Tonic for years and years, you've bought them, then it's different. But when you are not and you're new, I think it's better sometimes to just start easy, and then it's not so daunting, you know, it's not so daunting for you. So anyways, we're on to our last page, and you've created your book. How quick was this? And this, like I say, is just an alternate if you are a little bit, oh, I don't know, this is, you know, you think, oh, this other one's might be a bit too difficult for me, don't fear, and don't put your dies down and think I can't do it, because like I say, you can. It's easy, and it's easy when you know how, and if you're new, this is going to be good. So there we go. So that is your flat book. You see? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. You'll wait for yours to stick. 4 pages to decorate. But remember, and this is a top tip, remember, you will be doing flips and flaps, right? You will be using your dies, your smaller ones. You can even use the bigger ones to put more pages on, to put another one on here. So this is what I'm trying to say. Even though there's only 2, you look at it and say there's 2 pages, which is 4 to decorate. There's not, because once you start putting all your flips and flaps on, if you look, you put a flip and a flap here. I will show you, I will do some more. A flip and a flap here. Then that's another 4 pages to decorate, because you've got another 2 there and 2 underneath. And of course, the more pages you're adding, the more cardstock you're going to use as well. So just bear that in mind. It might look, you might look at it and think, oh, well, that's not a very big book, you know, that's really not a very big book, 4 pages. But believe me, once you start putting all the flips and flaps on it, that is going to be a big book. And the beauty with doing it this way is you've got every single gap, you've got a 1.5 centimetre gap, so you can fill it with everything. You don't have to worry about if you're going over and putting lots and lots of flips, lots of flaps, you know, extra little books in, envelopes that are a little bit, you know, thicker, and you're bulking it up. You don't have to worry about it. You can put them on any page you want, you know, within reason. I mean, you're not going to want to put 1, 2, 3, 4 of these big ones on one, because it's just unrealistic. But believe me, you will. Once you start doing it, and it's just a different way. If you want to have a flat book rather than the flip flap, let's call it a flip flap. So this is the Jodie book, where she's got all her flips, all her flaps, you know, one on top of the other. But if I take those out and just show you what I mean. See, with the flip and the flap, here we've got a 1.5 centimetre gap on each side. And when we flip it over, can you see, we've still got that 1.5 centimetre side. So in this part here, we can put as much as we want. We can fill that up as much as we want. But this side and this side, we can't. You're not going to want to fill that side up, because that lays flat on the top. Do you understand? So you don't have a 1.5 centimetre gap between those 2 pages. These 2 pages, we have a 1.5 centimetre gap. So we can fill those as much as we want. But here, we don't have a 1.5 centimetre gap. So you're not going to want to put lots on this one. Do you understand what I'm saying? This one is because we've got a 1.5, we've got a major amount to put on there. So you can put as much as you want on that one. But do you see, there is a couple of pages in there where you just might be mindful of what you're putting inside, like you're not bulking some of them up too much, because if you bulk them up, or every single page, and you bulk them up with so much stuff, you really will. It's just, you know, it happens. You'll end up with your book like that because it's full of stuff. So be mindful. So that is how to make, if you're struggling with making a flip flap book, and like I say, you have to be mindful of what you're doing and where you're putting these. I don't want to waffle on too much, but where you're putting, as I did yesterday with my second page. I mean, I went to put a bumblebee. If we look, I went to put a bumblebee on here. Let's just show you. on one of these. I've had to move it down, but if you remember, I put one on the top. Now when I went to close it, this is where you've got to be mindful. When I went to close it, it was up here and I couldn't close the book. So with this flip flap book, you do have to be mindful of where you're putting, do you understand, all your bits and your flips and your flaps and, you know, your little tags to pull things out. And this one is, you don't have to worry too much because it's just all on one side. Do you understand? It's all on one side. That would be that way, wouldn't it? And, you know, you can put your flaps in there. You know, you can put your pulley flaps to pull out, make pockets on either sides of these and keep it one way and keep it uniformed. You're not worrying about, oh, hang on, I've got 3 pages here, 2 pages here. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I hope that helps. And if you do struggle with making the one that Jodie made, and like I say, it's a beautiful book, and by all means definitely make it. I mean, definitely have a stab at it, but don't get you know, upset if you think, oh, I can't do this and it's too difficult, because it's not. It's just, once you know how to do these things, they become more and more easy. And like I say, if you can't do that, don't not do it, is what I'm saying. Don't be, you know, disheartened. That's the word I'm looking for. Try and maybe do a, you know, a smaller book and a flat book, because like I say, you're still going to get, if you can still put your flips and flaps in here, but it's just a little bit, you know, it's a little bit less daunting when you're opening, if you're a beginner and you're opening up and you're thinking, oh wow, what am I doing? So I can understand that. So anyways, I hope that helps. I will just quickly say, because I'm mindful of the time and I'm mindful of how quick these upload, they take ages to upload. I'm just going to bring this in. I was going to do this as a tutorial, but I think I might do this on YouTube. Not YouTube, we're on YouTube, aren't we? On Facebook. So what I've done is I've opened up a private group. So it's completely private. And I thought, because I can do these videos much quicker than they are being uploaded onto YouTube. So I thought what I would do is do some lives, you know, Facebook lives within the group. I've opened it up today, and I was hoping that it was going to be okay to do that, to just open it up and go in there, and then we can do some lives, and then it gives you the opportunity to actually write to me, you know, on the screen and say, you know, can you show me this? I'm not sure about this. You know, I can do it at the time. I don't have, I think on I am waffling now, but I don't have, I think you have to have 1,000 followers on YouTube to be able to go live. But I think I can do that in the private group. So I have opened it under the same name, Crazy Crafting Creations. So if you just look at me, it's Nikki Sarah on Facebook. Just either add me as a friend, or you should see, if you look on my Facebook, you should see the group. And then, like I say, I can go in there and do lives much quicker and get things out there much quicker than I can doing a whole tutorial on YouTube, because the last couple have taken 8 to 10 hours each to upload. So just before I go, I'm just going to tell you, if you do have this set, it's the Tailored Frames Hexagon Layering Die Set. You can make the pages bigger and still use your new hexagon set. And I can't wait to do this, because I did this the other day and I thought, oh yes, because at the moment with this one you can only use this size, which is fantastic. It's brilliant, it's gorgeous, I love it, but I thought I'd like a bigger one. So the same principle as with what I've just done with this set is exactly the same and would work with any hexagon, but you would have to remeasure. Now with this, I'm flying through this. If anybody does want me to do the book, I will do another one setting this up, but it is exactly the same as what I've just done there. But with this, you would need your 8 pages. So you'd need to cut out your 8 pages from the largest hexagon. And then you would need an 11.5 centimetre strip. So we did 9.5 on this book, didn't we? When we was making this just a minute ago, we did 9.5. But this is an 11.5 centimetre, okay? So it's exactly the same principle as the other book, but just this is a lot larger. And obviously this is why I wanted to do it. I'm dying to do this. I can't wait. Once I've got everything all set up, I'll be away. But with this one, you get these lovely layering sets, of, you know, and they just work perfectly. Let me just bring, oh, it might be in the other room, but I've got some lovely stuff. But let's just show you one of these anyway. They will work perfectly with this, so you can slot them all into each other. How pretty does that look? It just looks so pretty. I can't wait to work with these. Oh, it's so exciting when you get some dies that you really kind of fall in love with, and I really have fallen in love with these. I think they're such a lovely set. Again, I'm going to say it, and you know, Tonic just really do some fantastic die sets. The design works brilliant, it really is. But that's what we'll do, and I thought maybe I could do this bigger book as well, because it just looks so pretty, and just with the frames, I don't know, just it adds to it, and then it just complements this set. They just complement each other perfectly. They marry up perfectly, you know. And I think if you've got them and you are a Tonic fan like me, and you do buy everything that pretty much everything that they bring out, then you may have it in your stash, and it would be such a shame not to use it. So I will do another one with this, and just doing some pages with this, because I can't wait to use these sets together, because they're just going to look absolutely beautiful. Right, I'm going to go, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the next page in our flip-flap, memory book. We've got 2 pages done, so we're going to do another page for that. And like I said, if anybody does want me to do maybe a few pages in here, you know, if you are a beginner, like I say, if you're a beginner, this might be better for you. But all means, go ahead and do that one. But just don't give up is what I'm saying. I really would hate it if you gave up, because we're all here. Everybody's here. They're all supporting each other. Jodie's group is lovely. Making Memories with Jodie. It's such a lovely group. Everybody supports each other. You know, there's always help on hand if you ever need anything. So like I say, don't be disgruntled. Maybe try this book. Maybe try a smaller one. So I hope that helps anyway, and I hope you've enjoyed watching. If you would like to hit subscribe, please do. No, you know, no force. And hopefully I will see you as well over on Facebook. It's Crazy. I've set it up as Crazy Crafting Creations, but it really will just be Tonic lovers. So if you love Tonic, and I really would like to do some lives with lots of other dies in my collection that I have. So if you do enjoy watching people put things together and want to get involved, and we just have a little bit of fun, you know, non-professionals, we'll have a nice little bit of fun using all the products. And I will see you in the next video. Okay, take care, bye.